That's where the
I think it's still maybe should be a good second.
Autocephaly for the Ukrainian church. And the project for the Soviet Union is not possible to renew the former Soviet Union under the Putin leadership. It is impossible without Ukraine. Very simple. And it is exactly this goal of Russia that strikes back at us, at Ukraine, and at West. Seems that 5 years were not enough to make Russian revanchism irreversible. And distinguished audience, I'm here today in another capacity, not only as a fifth president of Ukraine, but also as a leader of the European Solidarity Party. And I'm proud that the latest election in Ukraine were greatly free and fair. And this is the first example of the civilized, liberal transfer of power, which Ukraine never knows. And I'm high standard of democracy, proud, that shall be preserved. It will fight for that. And by the way, I want to thank Edmondtone who voted for me. This is confidential. That is what makes us different from the absolute majority post-war space. This is what makes European democracy. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for all of this. Despite losing the election, I'm not going to leave the political sense of Ukraine, because we should protect our achievement in the last 5 years. We should keep track to the European, to membership of Ukraine, to the European Union, and to NATO. My battle is not over. Not for the high political post. Battle for Ukraine, for its prosperous future, for independent, sovereign, territorially integral, and European. And I am happy that I am strengthening in this battle by my political team, European Solidarity. As I name it, the Special Task Force in Ukrainian power. And this is not because we have General Mikhail Zabrodsky, the commander of Ukrainian assault forces, special purpose, but because every single member of my team, including Volodymyr Petrovich, once again, please welcome him with applause. Last he was our representative in Edmonton. He works hard here. And I hope in the next parliamentary sessions, or next parliamentary week, starting from the beginning of December, he would take an oath as a member of parliament. They're afraid. They don't allow them to take an oath on the previous week. The same way like they're afraid everything of us. Because we fight. We believe in the future. And we have your support. It is very important for us. I have no other choice but keep fighting, not to let revenge happen. And I keep believing in Ukrainian victory. Not my victory, but Ukrainian victory of Ukrainian people. Both on the track of reform and on the track of countering Russian aggression. And I would like to inspire you to do the same. Dear compatriots, we shall stand together for Ukraine to counter existing and emerging challenges. We shall not allow the world to forget about the aggression, to breach of international law, occupation, thousands of deaths. This is the strategy of Mr. Putin to switch attention by fake news, by instrument of the hybrid war, we should be careful and experienced. I was countering Putin's Russia through the last 5 years. They do not look for peace with Ukraine. They look for Ukraine's surrender, for Ukraine's return to the Russian orbit of influence, to the prisons of nation, to USSR, second edition. And we are 2 weeks away from the Normandy summit in Paris, which taking place on the 9th of December. And the expectations are extremely high. I really wish President Zelensky to stand firm on Ukraine's interest and vision for peace through the victory, but not through the capitulation. Peace on Ukraine's terms. What do I mean here? First, there must be no undermining of Ukrainian unity. No any attempt of Ukrainian federalization. Ukraine should be a united country. Next, security must go first. Sustainable ceasefire, as it exactly mentioned in Minsk agreement. Withdrawal of Russian troops, as it mentioned in Minsk agreement. Withdrawal of heavy artillery and weapons, as it mentioned in Minsk agreement. Disarmament of all illegal armed formation, as it mentioned in Minsk agreement. And that would be extremely important, immediate control by the UN-led peacekeepers and control part of Ukrainian-Russian border. Not allow Russia to penetrate to the occupied territory. Third, election in the certain region of Donbass must be fully in line with the OSCE standard and principle, not under Russian barrels of gun, which Putin tried to organize now in Paris meeting. We should avoid Putin traps and stay united. We shall strengthen pro-Ukrainian international coalition, where Canada as a G7 member play one of the most active roles. During whole years of my presidency, I feel strong shoulder of my Ukrainian partner, Canada. Here in Edmonton, I want to thank all of you for that. That was extremely important. I greatly deplore the state of play in our relation with US. Even in my most dark nightmare, I'm talking now from all of my heart, I could not imagine our ties with Washington to settle with just one issue, Ukraine gate. Present Ukraine's authority have to do their utmost to restore relation of trust and strategic partnership between Ukraine and US, and to secure bipartisan support of United States for Ukraine. One shall not divide neither between Republican or Democrats, nor between Ukraine and US. American presidential struggle is for Americans. Ukraine had nothing to do. But Ukraine struggle with Russia aggression is for the entire free world. By the way, for Canada either. If there is somebody who is interested in Ukraine gate in US, the one sit definitely not in Washington and not in Kiev. And everybody in the world knows exactly where this person sits. In Kremlin. We shouldn't get to the Russian trap. We shall not make him happy. We shall unite and defeat our common enemy. Why? Because Russian propaganda will do its utmost to deepen the gap and to divide American support of Ukraine between different political camps. During 5 years of my presidency, I enjoyed bipartisan support. We should keep it as the most important value for Ukrainians and for the whole world. By the way, for Americans too. Don't allow to play discard. That would be even worse because sanction would come next. And this is the Putin's scenario to avoid sanction. He said, okay, we already do everything in the Paris summit. With America, we present the scenario of Ukraine. What do you want more from Russia? Leave the sanction, please. And we should ensure that the sanctions against Russia are secured and strengthened until sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine would be restored, and fully restored also the territorial integrity of Ukraine. Not forget it. And exactly like this, it was in a statement of the European People's Party who were done a few days ago in Zagreb with my participation. The leading, the most important, the most influential political party in the European Union. We shall contribute to the strengthening of the new Ukrainian army, modern, efficient, tailor-made. Since year 2014, we have managed to build an army from the scratch. Now, Ukraine army is among top 10 of European armies, strong, effective, battle-hardened, experienced, fashioned. We managed to do it with the support of our international partners, including Canada. Today I had the pleasure to meet with the Premier of Alberta, Mr. Jason Kenney. When I was president in the year 2015, Jason was the Minister of Defense. And now I can say that when I was refused to obtain, don't tell anybody, the satellite images in the real time, which helped me to protect my soldiers, it was Jason. And when we have absolute difficulties, when we have a uniform, winter uniform for my troops, it was Canadian government who sent several planes to Ukraine to help us to fight for Ukraine during the winter time. And you know that he is, together with my team, the founder of Unify. It was so touching that Canadian soldiers and instructors come to Ukraine to learn how we beat Russia from us, and to teach us how to effectively organize defense of Ukraine. That was Unified Military Training Program for Ukrainian Armed Forces. And can you imagine, since it launched in April year 2015, Canadian Armed Forces trained about 15,000 Ukrainian soldiers, which significantly rising up their level of effectiveness. And even now, 200 Canadian instructor soldiers are in Yabari, in Ukraine. Do you know from where in Canada? From that. No list of the name of these soldiers. More than 20% of them are Ukrainian. Bravo. More than 15% speaks fluently Ukrainian. Bravo. And this is the relationship between the real partners, which we don't have even in the year 2014. Relation of trust, relation of joint purposes. And I want to thank Canada, Alberta, and Edmonton for every single instructor we have. Canada is one of the key partners of Ukraine in getting defensive weapon and counter second army in the world, Russia, including the effective anti-sniper bombs. When we receive American Javelin, even we don't have it in the touchline. Russian tank driver said, no, they have a Javelin, we don't go there. Okay? Now when we received Canadian anti-sniper complex, Russian sniper said, no, not anymore. Your satellite images, your training, your anti-sniper complex, our cooperation saved lots of Ukrainian lives. Please remember that. And now, Southern Ukraine suggests to conclude in a kind of new security agreement, because failure of the Budapest Memorandum in year 1994 security guarantee after we gave up our Ukraine third biggest in the world nuclear arsenal. My answer is clear. Don't believe in this project. There is not exist better security guarantee, better security agreement for Ukraine to guarantee our sovereignty, territorial integrity. No Budapest, no Bucharest, no Almaty, no any other security agreement. One, named Washington Treaty. Treaty which established NATO. For 70 years of existing NATO organization, no one member state was object of the aggression, was object of the attack. Don't find any other better opportunity. And this is position of my political party. Remains key, if not single promoter of NATO accession, not by words, but by deeds. And we appreciate that Ukrainians abroad are the strongest supporter of Ukraine's NATO membership. We shall not let new Ukrainian administration to trade in NATO perspective for illusionary security guarantee from Putin. Can you imagine? They want to replace NATO membership by security guarantee of Putin. If not worse, the paper they are printed in. Apart from the struggle with ongoing Russian aggression, Ukraine desperately needs the continuation of the comprehensive reform of political, economic, financial, social, legal, judicial, and many other spheres. And I appreciate that Canada is one of the leading contributors to the implementation of Ukraine's reform agenda. The greatest example is a recent reform conference in Toronto. And I'm proud that over 5 years of my presidency in Ukraine, as George said, it was done more reform, confirmed by international financial organization, than for a quarter of the century before. Not only in the security and defense sector. Rating of doing business of the World Bank, when I was elected as the president of Ukraine in the year 2013, Ukraine was on 153rd place. When I finished my presidential term, it was on the 64th place. And this is the biggest progress any country demonstrate ever. They said to me, war is not the... They said to me, war is not the best time for the reform. My answer was, if we do not make a reform, we cannot save the country. It is more than 2 years Canada and Ukraine signed up free trade agreement. Canadian-Ukrainian free trade agreement is now in force. 25 years before, nobody knew that. An agreement opened a new page of the trade and investment relation between our countries. It gave impetus to the new projects, new connection, new prospects for the entrepreneurs of both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. And it is amazing how fast the trade flow is rising. For 2 years of CUFTA existence, Ukrainian export to Canada grew up by how many? 10, 15, 20, 75% for 2 years. This is real figures of the efficiency of our cooperation. The total amount of the investment from Canada to Ukrainian economy is $52.3 million. In this term, I would like to underline that the biggest amount of Canadian investment goes to industry, to manufacturing, and to my mind it is one of the best ways to support our country, to give us a possibility together with you to renew our production potential and become stronger economically. And I believe that the Ukrainian abroad could be the most efficient promoters of Ukraine's investment and business potential, in particular here in Canada, in Alberta, with a view of facilitating better engagement of Ukraine abroad and Ukrainian citizens. I think it is important and useful to push forward the initiative of gradual visa liberalization between Canada and Ukraine. Happy all the time with that. But look, we have a visa-free with the European Union and don't have a visa-free with Canada. Is it fair? Definitely not. By the way, we should think about dual citizenship for Canadian citizens and Ukraine. I know this topic for visa liberalization is very sensitive in Canada, but I do not believe that it is impossible to find the window of opportunity for more liberalization of movement. And at the end of the day, I was also told multiple times that the visa-free regime with the EU also not possible. Believe me, when I was elected as a president, they said, don't even think about that. I said, okay, let it be a roadmap. Put it what kind of reform Ukraine should do. I promise you, we do not bring you any headache. First it was 80, then 97, then 121. When it started to be 144, I said stop. We do 144 reform, you do visa. And I was proud that as a birthday gift for my father, in 11th of June, this is the day of birthday of my father, year 2017, I opened symbolic door in Chop. And from that side stand then President of Slovakia, Andrej Kiška. And we said, we're launching visa-free regime in Ukraine. That was something. As I mentioned at the beginning of my speech today, we had a very productive discussion with the leadership of the University of Alberta. Thank you very much indeed for that. And I would like to take this opportunity to inform you that I have proposed to establish the program to find out with Yaroslav, the program of support Ukrainian studies and learning Ukrainian language in the University of Alberta. I think if we're protecting the Ukrainian language in Ukraine, we should promote Ukrainian language abroad. And if we want to promote Ukrainian language abroad, does it exist better place in the world than Alberta? Especially when I'm listening that we have a Ukrainian teacher, but not enough. You do a great job. And I strongly believe that this initiative will be very important to promote Ukrainian culture, Ukrainian language, history in Alberta, and the whole Canada. And therefore, a clear win-win of both nations. I hope that you in the audience also support this initiative. One, especially I see happiness in the first row. One more, but no less important an issue, please help defend Ukraine spiritually. This is another battlefield and geopolitical challenge for Ukraine and Ukrainians in the world. Who knows, maybe this challenge is even more fundamental than anything else in our fight with Russian revolution. One of the most important issues which must unite today all the Ukrainians around the globe is establishment and strengthening the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. You can tell me, listen, the state and the church are separated. Yes, you are right, I will say. You can tell me, listen, but I am the Protestant or Greco-Catholic or Roman Catholic. Why should I care about Orthodox Church of Ukraine? I will tell you, please, stay reassured. I don't definitely ask you to convert. I ask you just to support and strengthen one of the pillars of Ukrainian statehood, Ukrainian sovereignty, national building, and believe me, even national security. And the decision of the Constantinople Patriarch Bartholomew to grant Thomas or Autocephaly to the Orthodox Church of Ukraine has been much more than restoration of the historic truth and justice. It is about praying for independent Ukraine, praying about peace in Ukraine, praying about fallen Ukrainian heroes, and not praying for Ruski Mir, not praying for Kirill, not praying for Putin. Very simple. The main system of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine is a huge blow against Russia's centrism of global orthodoxy, against Russian expansionism. And that's why newly born Autocephalous Church is under attack of Russian security services and Kremlin propaganda in Ukraine and beyond. Millions and millions of dollars are being spent to block the recognition of the Orthodox Church in Ukraine, to block transition of the local Ukrainian communities from Russian Church to Ukrainian. Declaring to be the follower of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine in occupied Crimea or Donbass is the same as to invite death or repression to your home. Therefore, it is sacred duty for all Ukrainians to stand in a defense of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. This is vital for existing Ukrainian nation. For diaspora, it is great importance to encourage the international recognition of the Church. We have already gained the 3 major diplomatic victories of our Church in Constantinople, in Alexandria, and in Athens. Bravo. 5, 4, even 3 years ago, nobody believed it. This is possible. This is we do together. And the Patriarch Exarch, Patriarch Bartholomew Exarch, from Edmondtone, together with my team to perivode. Bravo and thank you. And 3 among 4 teens Orthodox Patriarch recognized an independent Ukrainian Church and battle for Ukrainian Church and for Ukrainian soul continues. Dear friends, the future of the free world is being decided in Ukraine. It is decided by Ukrainians in Ukraine and abroad. We are all united. We should stay united. Don't allow anybody to divide us. We united in efforts to build stronger Ukraine in the united Europe, in the free world. We should be in NATO with your assistance. We definitely and desperately need membership action. We should be in European Union with your support. We should be member of the free world. I want to thank you for your attention. I want to excuse me for such a long, but this is a lecture. Now we go and switch to the Q&A session. I thank you for your attention. И glory to Ukraine, и слава Україні.